Hello, Catholic Life. My name is Matthew Carpenter. I'm a sophomore. I am a peer minister this year for Flyer Fire, and I'm looking to share my Lenten reflection with you today about my Lenten journey so far. I'll be reflecting as Lent as a pilgrimage, the purpose of Lent, and finding thin places. So Lent is a very personal journey and humble. We're not called to compare ourselves to others or compete with other people, but it's a pilgrimage that we take on towards Easter, towards the resurrection of Christ. And there's suffering that happens before that in order to help us grow closer to Christ. And like a pilgrimage, the destination isn't always the goal. It's the things along the way that might make the most influence, impact to our spiritual life. And I think some questions to think about during Lent are, am I growing closer to God? Is this for my personal gain? Do I want to be honored or have pride? And then think about all these questions, and then as I think and as I reflect, everything we do should be intentional to grow us closer to Christ, not for our personal glory or personal gain. And definitely we're all still, working at that. I still fail. There's days where I fall short of my Lenten goals, and I always come back to, am I growing closer to God? And that comparison to other people, comparison is the thief of joy, I like to think. That's a quote that I think about a lot. And at the same time, we should be challenging ourselves, but not comparing ourselves to others. And Lent isn't about competition. It's about our personal conversion towards Christ every day, and even beyond Lent, turning ourselves towards Christ, turning our hearts towards Christ with every decision we make. And then as Lent's continuing, especially during this time of the school year where it's stressful, we're coming towards closer to spring break, our routine will change and our environment will change. But what stays constant in that change in routine is God's presence. And it's up to us to perceive him and to accept that gift of his presence. And it's us that we have to turn back to him. It's never God that leaves us. And places where we feel God's presence in a strong way are called thin places. And a thin place could be a peaceful place in nature, your home, a prayer space for you, or even a busy street corner. And I want you to think about, what is a thin place for you? There's a quote that I really love about thin places that I would like you also to reflect on as we go into spring break. And here it is. I thought that God was more present here, in these hills, in this house, on these walls, and especially in these people. But over time, I realized that the change was in me, not God. I was more present to God. I was following his command of love. Through the good, the bad, and the painful, love was always a visible constant. So as spring break comes closer, as we travel deeper into Lent, keep reflecting on the purpose of Lent, to grow closer to Christ, to turn our hearts towards Christ and to accept his love and give up a little bit just so that we can experience not even a fraction of his love for us and his sacrifice on the cross, and that we turn towards God and grow deeper in a relationship with him. And then for all of our Lenten journeys, as we kind of switch environments, spring break comes up, remember that our Catholic Life community's love and support is still present. And I encourage you all to reach out to each other and continue our communal Lenten pilgrimages together. And I'm praying for all of you and wishing you peace.